Republicans in Congress are, of course, still at each other's throats over how to pass one big, beautiful bill, as Donald Trump repeatedly says, but they're working on it, allegedly, and they're no closer to a final bill than they were a month ago or 3 months ago or even a year ago before Trump was even elected. Nevertheless, they do have some plans. And all of the plans that they're pretty much dead set on doing, regardless of what the final bill looks like, are horrific for the entire country. But somehow, some way, these Republicans have decided that they're going to punish their states more than anybody else. Because as per usual, Republicans love to just make their voters suffer. Honestly, at this point, I firmly believe they have some kind of fetish for it. But the new version that they have basically does away with food benefits, the SNAP program, from the federal government. Now, it doesn't kill SNAP altogether, but what it does is cuts a bunch of money out of it, hundreds and hundreds of billions, so that they can pay for tax cuts for the wealthy elite. And then it tells the states, y'all got to come up with the money. You're not going to get any more federal money to do this. You got to do it all on your own, which most states are completely unable to do because most states are running deficits. And those states with massive budget deficits already are also the ones that have the highest number of people in the SNAP program. And I am talking about all my neighbors down here in the South. Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. Those states have the worst budgets and also the highest number of people in the SNAP program along with Medicaid. And those programs, both of them, are about to be cut by the government, and all of the costs will shift onto the states, which has the potential to send some of these states into bankruptcy. And there's several ways that that can happen. First and foremost, if these states, all run by some of the most disgustingly vile Republicans you've ever seen in your life, if they decide out of the goodness of their hearts that, okay, we'll keep the funding at the current levels, the state doesn't have the money for that, they will in fact be bankrupt. But let's be honest here. None of these people, Sarah Huckabee Sanders in Arkansas, she's not going to do that. Kay Ivey in Alabama, hell no, she's not going to do it. So, what do? They'll have to cut the benefits. So these people who are receiving, on average, $202 to $372 per month are going to be dealing with less than that. Maybe half that amount, maybe just a quarter of that amount to buy food for themselves and their families for the month. So these benefits could end up being less than $100 per month to buy groceries for an entire family. And on the Medicaid side, a lot of people are going to be kicked off Medicaid. So not only do you not have the money to feed your family, you now just lost your health care. So you can't even go to the doctor. So what happens then? Well, these people still get sick and end up with horrible diseases. And then that burden falls on who? Oh, you guessed it, the state. Because these people will, when they get sick enough, eventually have to use ambulances. They will have to go to the hospital. They may have to have tumors removed that, by the way, could have been resolved a long time ago, but they were allowed to spread because they couldn't go to the doctor because they cut their health insurance. And you know how that goes. Lost economic productivity, higher costs on the state for health care, more deaths due to people possibly starving to death, and on and on and on. Not to mention, there is another very vital part of the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. These three states that I've mentioned, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, they also have huge agricultural sectors, including local agriculture. A lot of this SNAP money goes to those local farmers who would not be able to survive without that money. They provide the food, right? And it provides food to schools and things like that. And we've already seen those programs cut in other states by Republicans. So those people lose money, possibly lose their farms. Then that results in less jobs, less economic activity, and so on and so forth. So no matter which way you want to slice it here, no matter how these states choose to handle this new burden, it's going to destroy them. And it's going to destroy the very people that consistently, every election, are going to send a goddamn Republican to Washington, D.C. to fuck them over eventually. This is what happens when you make those choices. This is what happens when you go to the polls and only vote for people because you're scared of a big, mean transgender being in your bathroom. This is what you get. This is what happens to you when you vote on stupid issues for stupid people who hate you and want you to die. That's what's happening to you right now. Because this part of the budget, the rest of it's going to change. This absolutely is not. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.